Hey everybody, my name is Josh Rimany. I am the pharmacist that de-prescribes drugs by giving people health and wellness tips, tricks, hacks to moving their health from maybe not so good to vibrant. Follow along if you're ready to go beyond the pills.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to this episode of Beyond the Pills. I am Josh Rimany, the unpharmacist. That means I love de-prescribing medicines and getting people off meds and towards vibrant health. Today, we're going to talk about a new concept that I'm creating for pharmacies that's also applicable to people. So patients, clients, and pharmacists, this is for you. If you are looking to go beyond the pill, I'm creating a system in which we have a formula for basically anything you take a prescription for. A lot of people are like, what do I take? What do I take? What do I do? What's natural? What can I do? So in understanding more of what to do and why you're doing it creates the how. The how becomes a lot easier. So we're going to talk a little bit today about the foundation of this Beyond the Pills approach and this initiative that we're moving pharmacies forward with all across the country. I'm super excited to be able to announce that we are finally moving pharmacies in a big herd, in a tribe, over to this process. And we're really calling it the initiative of the RX2 wellness process. So if you take a prescription for a chronic condition and you're looking for other things that you could do, this system is for you. And it can be applied to any prescription or any chronic condition. And so we're going to go over the foundations, and then we're going to go over into some deep dives on each specific condition so it's really relevant to you. I am here recording today at sunny Folly Beach, South Carolina. This is where I take my children and my family on vacation. So I am literally working and enjoying a vacation at the same time, because what we teach also is geographical freedom. And what does that mean? You can work anywhere in the country if you do it right. So here we are recording from the beach in Folly Beach, and this is the beach edition of Beyond the Pills. This process of Beyond the Pills and what we're calling RX to wellness is, what is the first step? What is the step that people need to do that's moving them from taking a prescription and doing some other things? And now the real concept here is the traditional medical model of what we're all exposed to and what we're programmed to. It's not our fault. We're classically trained as practitioners, and we're classically programmed as patients to say, I have a thing. I go to the doctor or a practitioner and I get diagnosed and treated. And that diagnosed and treated is a line of symptoms that associate with a diagnosis code that we can bill for from the insurance model most of the time. And then we associate that diagnosis with a treatment. And that's good, but it really takes the mindset of something on the outside fixing me. The treatment is, I'm going to take the drug. I'm going to take something that's on the outside and expect that it's going to fix me. Well, we all know that the problem with that is it may resolve symptoms of the chronic condition, but never really gets to the root cause. And also, we're always looking for the pill for the ill, right? We've talked about this. If I take this thing for this thing, it's going to fix me. Whereas the mindset shift now is really around, what could I be doing that's also synergistic to these prescriptions? Because we're not just saying poo-poo prescriptions. They're necessary when the continuum of health gets to a severe case where prescription medications are needed in some cases. We're not dissolving that concept. But what we're saying is, let's shift our mindset to say, what could I be doing that could be benefiting, that's not on my outside world, not that prescription that's fixing me. What could I be doing myself? So moving from the outside to the inside. And it's a 4-step process that I think is valuable for any consideration for any condition. And those 4 steps, those 4 pillars that we're teaching pharmacies to also move beyond the pill is what we're teaching you, what we're teaching the person, is what diet, what lifestyle, what supplement, and what lab might I use for the particular condition. So diet is nutrition. We've talked about food as medicine. It's a huge component to this. Every single condition that in the entire planet that I've ever seen can benefit from some type of diet or food plan. Take the Mediterranean diet, low glycemic index food for cardiometabolic or type 2 diabetes, prediabetes, anti-inflammatory diet for pain. So there's food, nutrients, that affect your biochemistry. So most people know that. We know that food is medicine. It's not just taste good. So there are always diet and nutritional things we can do, food, eat and drink, that can help with the condition. So that's pillar one, diet and food. Pillar two is lifestyle. I have the belief that most all chronic conditions generally are a lifestyle problem. So there's lifestyle interventions that we can incorporate into every condition. We've talked about stress management and what you can do. We talked about sleep and what you can do with the lifestyle. This is so overlooked from the standpoint of treatment protocol because it seems too simple. It seems too simple to think about that if I just change certain aspects of my life and I nail them, I'm really focused on those things, that I could actually get a really good result. But the thing with lifestyle interventions, generally, we're talking health coaching. We're talking where we can do things in our life that can affect our systems. And they're general categories of, we've talked about it, stress management, diet, nutrition, relationships, exercise and movement, and sleep. Every one of these components has a layer to them for a specific condition. Think of anxiety. And when you look at stress management, it's looking at diaphragmatic deep breathing. It's encouraging people to do meditative practice, all backed by science now. These ancient things that we were talking about, like breath work or meditative practice, is important because we're now proving the science behind it. So blending that ancient wisdom with modern science is what we're doing in this podcast, is understanding from our analytical brain and our westernized brains is we need to understand that there's some medical study or something that's going to help with that. Lifestyle interventions can be implemented in any case. And that's what we teach people in our programs. That's what we teach people in any medication or chronic condition related problem that they have. So that's diet and nutrition, lifestyle interventions, supplements. So nutraceuticals. I talk to them about clinical aspects of supplementation. We're not talking, let's get a vitamin on board because it feels good or it looks good or it sounds good to us. Like vitamin C is good for immunity, so let's do it. No, we're talking clinical. So there is a clinical outcome. This is what people study in clinical nutrition. Whether you're a certified clinical nutritionist or a certified nutrition specialist, CCN, CNS, dietitian, looking at the micronutrients, the biochemistry of supplementation. That's the third pillar of supplements, we'll just call them that for now, is crucial for every single condition. I can recommend at least one thing for something that has, whether it's pre-diabetes, diabetes, anxiety, any condition you're getting a prescription for, there's a supplement that you can use that could be synergistic or counteract the drug and the nutrient deficiency associated with it. We've talked about that. I can't emphasize it enough. That's why I'm going to keep saying it until people understand it. Most of the drugs you take are robbing you of the nutrients in your system for the biochemistry and all the reactions moving on. Magnesium's a great example. It's required for over 400 biochemical reactions in the body. It's a building block for a lot of different things like neurotransmitters and all the different cycles that are going on in the system. If you're taking medications that can rob the body of those nutrients, you're having a deficiency beyond what you're not getting in the diet. So it's kind of counterproductive to your body doing its own thing. The drug may be working, but it's also doing things. It's called a side effect, right? So the side effect of a medication can and usually is a nutrient deficiency. So we have to recommend, I call replete, getting things up and moving them in a direction where we are having optimal nutrition, not adequate to not getting a disease. That's the third pillar, supplementation. And the fourth pillar is labs. There are certain labs that doctors in the Western traditional medicine don't necessarily use for prevention or root cause systems where we're looking more at imbalances in your health. So if we're going to look for imbalances in your health, not a deficiency like a white blood cell count or red blood cell count, vitamin D level deficiency, we're looking for optimal health. And so there are certain types of lifestyle or functional labs that we could be using that could be really important for your health and your longevity So we're talking things like genetic testing that isn't terribly expensive. We can do genetic testing for $250 to $500 now and do a whole array of things for people. We could do simple B12 analysis, vitamin D, like we talked about, checking for optimal levels, not deficiencies, and using the right supplementation for a particular disease. Think of seasonal affective disorder. People that get depressed in the wintertime because the sunlight's down, it's really around vitamin D being so low in the wintertime. And so why aren't we optimizing vitamin D versus prescribing a drug for depression when people are seasonally depressed? Let's optimize the B vitamins. Let's optimize the omega-3s. Let's optimize these things so we can teach people to optimize their biochemistry first. And then if something is really out of whack or still in balance, we go to the drug. I always think the drug is sort of the last effect. Why can't we do the lifestyle, diet, supplements, and labs to optimize the health first? So there's two ways to look at that in this Beyond the Pills, what we're calling now this RX to Wellness initiative, is you can do this from a foundational perspective of prevention. And you can also do this as you're taking medication to support the system. And then hopefully start working the biochemistry in a good way, the system in a good way. This is the whole premise of functional medicine and functional wellness, is putting in better signals and taking out the ones that aren't serving us. So that's kind of the process. So this is the overview of what we're calling going from RX only to things we can do, diet, lifestyle, supplements, and labs for anything that is affecting you. So we're going to be doing these mini protocols for each specific condition or each specific thing that people can be doing today, and going to these pharmacies that we're teaching to get some of these labs that you wouldn't normally get with the doctor. And we're going to do a deep dive on each one of these labs too, so you can get a better understanding of what I need to do. Like, all right, we're going to test the stool. So let's test the poop. What does that do? Let's test the organic acids. That's a metabolomic test. Let's test your genomics. What do these genomic tests look like? So I'm excited to bring all this to you guys. I hope this was informational for you, gave you value in the process of looking at what do I do that's on the inside? What is my role in my own healthcare? We're trying to make sure that all the people here that are listening to this are in charge of their own health, taking charge of their own health. The drug does not do that. The diagnose, treat with a drug-only approach only takes the responsibility for the drug fixing you. So this is taking responsibility, ownership, or inspiring ourselves to take charge back of our own health. That's what we all have the power to do. You can transform your life, and this is the start. This is the start from RX to wellness. I hope you enjoyed. Like this episode, share it with your friends. If it's given you value, it can give other people value. That's the point of what we're trying to do here. We're giving value as much as we can so we can move people from that pill for the ill approach to what they can do, empower themselves, and be super vibrantly healthy and transform their lives. My name is Josh Rimany. This is Beyond the Pills. Stay well.
Thanks for listening to the Beyond the Pills podcast. You can find Josh on LinkedIn and Facebook at Josh Rimany and on TikTok at Beyond the Pills. And if you enjoyed today's episode, we'd be forever grateful if you left a review wherever you get your podcasts. If you know somebody who wants to go beyond the pills, send them this episode. If you've got any specific questions or ideas for future episodes, reach out to Josh and send him a message. Thanks again for being a part of the Beyond the Pills community. We'll see you next time.